Take number 158. Let's hope I get this video done before the sun comes up again. So, okay. Hi YouTube, and welcome to my new channel, hopefully. My name is Olga. I'm originally from Russia, before you ask what the hell is up with my name. And yeah, like I've always thought it, like in English it sounds a lot more brutal than it does in Russian, because in Russian it's Olga, it's a lot softer. But anyway, now that we're over that. Okay, so I've been kind of debating on where to start with this video and just in general this channel, and I decided that why don't I talk about like the one thing that I actually want to talk about and it has been the focus of my life, one of the main focuses of my life for the past like as long as I can remember, which is a long time. And that's life purpose, you know, like what we came here to do as souls. Not afraid to say it, as souls, because that's what I believe, that we all have a soul and that we all came here with a mission or missions of some sort, and most of them involve some kind of like a service aspect to other people as well as personal fulfillment. And I think it was like Edgar Cayce who was talking about the surface aspect. That was like the first time that I realized that that's a really important part of it too. So it's not just about myself, you know, but actually like how can I help others with whatever I came here to do. But anyway, before we get there, even though we already got there, I just want to talk a little bit about how I came to, I guess, closer to what I want to do and to what I think I came here to, or not even think, what I feel I came here to do, okay? Trying to like stay away from the thinking mind so much and kind of like moving into the intuition and the feeling mind. So it's really kind of a long story, and I think everybody's gonna get like super bored if I start like explaining it in detail, as fascinating as it may be to me. But basically, here's like the main points I guess I want to cover. For most of my life, I had no idea what the heck I want to do. Like one of the things that I've always loved was music, and is music, because it's just like a part of me that I can't even do anything about, because it's always going to be there. Like no matter what happens, it's just like music is something I deeply love, and that's all there is to it. But I never actually wanted to be like a performer or like a, I don't know, I'm not that much of an extrovert, to be honest. Like I can pretend to be, I can try to be, and like life kind of forces us to, but for the most part it was never really my dream. I wanted it to be a part of my life, and it is, like most of the time, which is awesome. So other than that, I literally had like no idea what I want to do, because I liked psychology, but especially when I started going to, I even got a bachelor's degree in psychology, and then I started going for a master's in counseling psychology, and then at some point I realized that that's not even, like that's not exactly what I want to do, and it doesn't go deep enough into like all the issues that I believe it should, and it doesn't, like talk therapy was not, it just wasn't my thing. Like for some people it is great, perfect, whatever works for you. For me, I felt like something was missing, and it was really important for me to figure out what it is. So anyway, but this is, even before all this happened, for a long time, I was just working like regular jobs, you know, like the usual like administrative office stuff. And as the years went by, like I realized more and more that I hate them. Like not just a dislike, you know, like, oh, like everybody, like most people don't like their jobs, but they have to do them because hello, like we gotta pay our bills. So, you know, the whole story. But no, for me, it was kind of like to the point where like I hated it so much that like I would go to work angry as hell, and I would have like road rage and just wanting to like kill everybody, myself included, like just going to work. And then on the way back I was so exhausted and so frustrated that I like barely made it home. Like, it was less than an hour drive, but I was like falling asleep behind the wheel, and it was just horrible. And then like not looking forward to the next day, and I'm just like, oh my god, my life is a mess, I hate everything. But and also no wonder that at that point my health started to deteriorate like quickly and really, really bad. And so it got to a point where I was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis, which is a digestive autoimmune disorder. And it was, I mean, I don't want to go like into that whole thing, at least not on this video, because that's like a whole separate video in itself. But it affected my life so much that there was just no way for me to like ignore this anymore. You know, this nagging feeling that something was missing and that I came here to do something else. I came here with a mission, a purpose, or maybe like more than one, but there was something that I came here to do, not just for myself, but for others as well. And I'm not doing it. I'm not on that path. And I hate it. I hate every freaking second of it, you know, like of my life, the way that it was. As much as I wanted to pretend like, no, that's okay. And like, no, most people go through that stuff and that's like considered normal in our world. And, you know, like, who am I to question it or doubt it or like to try to be different? Like, that's what people do. They go to work, maybe they don't like it, boo-hoo, like tough, you know, tough luck. Like, dude, you gotta do what you gotta do, you gotta pay the bills. Anyway, so I had this like big existential void that I could not fulfill for the hell of it, Like, I didn't know what to do, like, and it was accumulating, like, the feelings of frustration and just like annoyance and just anger and not knowing what to do. So I went through like ups and downs, and like my disease was getting worse, and like it got to a point where like I literally couldn't leave the house, you know, because it was just really bad. I couldn't really function that much, and I guess the only thing that kind of like kept me going was that maybe it was the higher self. I don't know what the hell it was. But there was always kind of, like, even in those, like, times of despair, I always noticed, like, little signs from the universe trying to, like, tell me that it's there for me. Like, I'm listening to you. I hear you, and either it's gonna be fine, or, like, it was basically just a little, like, positive sign from the universe. And at that point, I was kind of like, I mean, is this even real? Like, what is, or am I imagining it? But it was kind of inspirational because it was the only thing that kept me going pretty much at that point. And it's, you know, like, the more I listened to like the videos about spirituality, the more books I read, the more I tried to connect with people who knew the stuff better than me, which I didn't know that much at all. The more I kind of like started to slowly and progressively, gradually, to like get into this world of spirituality myself, and to learn from it, and to like notice the signs even more in my life, and just feel the support that I was getting from what I understand now as my guides, you know, or my higher self, or whatever you want to call it, from God. I mean, I've always believed in God, but like in terms of religion, I went through like 3 different things, and it's just funny how like everything worked out. But I do believe in God. That's the whole point. But I don't believe in any specific religion now. So anyway, so I guess what I was trying to say is that at some point, like during one of my like crises and like a meditation that I did, I started to get kind of like a message of, you know, like the whole reason why I'm so sick and so miserable and I'm going through all this is to heal. Because like, how are you going to be healing people if you don't understand and don't know what it's like to be sick, yourself. You can't really relate. I mean, you can try, but it's still not the same thing basically as if you actually went through this and you know what it's like when you feel like shit every single day and you're like at the point of like complete, just almost like a point of no return. So that was one of the things, and I was like, okay, great, like what the hell am I going to do with this information now, like healing? Obviously I'm not going to become like a doctor because conventional medicine was definitely off my list. I was completely disappointed with it, and I am for the most part still. And then the other, like on the other side of the spectrum was shamans and like that whole thing, and I was like, okay, like that's not even fathomable. Like what shamans, like what are you talking about? Like it's just the word itself. I'm just like you have this like picture or like a stereotype of this guy like with the drum. I don't know. Anyway, so I was like, yeah, that's not gonna happen. But at least it put this thought in my mind, or they did, or my higher self, that this is something to look for, and that's, I kind of started like researching more about it and got to like learn about like lucid dreaming and like all these like different types of like, like healing modalities and like all the stuff. It just like took me down this interesting path of like realizing that there's so much more out there than I ever could have imagined and realized in this world of spirituality, and it's not like, I guess like a traditional like psychiatrist maybe could argue that this was just me trying to like get away from reality, and in a way, yes, you could say that, but it was actually me getting into a reality that I want to live, that would help me create the life that I want and to do what I came here to do, to begin with. So it's just like getting away from the reality that sucks and that makes no sense into something that does make sense and can actually like help the world and help me and my soul to evolve. So yeah, so eventually I got to a point where, and this wasn't even that long ago, it was a couple of years ago, but I got to a point where like during one of my meditations, I think it kind of like, I kept asking this question of like, what am I here to do? Like, what's my purpose? Blah, blah, blah. And I got these like 3 things, heal, create, educate. And it all felt right to me. I had no idea how I would be doing that, any of them. But I was like, okay, like, thank you for that. It's at least something. It's better than not knowing at all, like, what you came here to do. It's not data entry, that's for sure. But, still, it was kind of like, there was a lot of questions in my mind in terms of, like, how to fulfill this and, like, why, and just all kinds of questions. I'm sure you can relate. But I found that like the more I searched and read and like tried to find like different like healing modalities, and like see what other people are doing, like where did they study, like what did they do with their lives, like where did psychology lead them, like spirituality, like all this stuff, the more I realized that in my case, I think spiritual regressions, like spiritual hypnotherapy, past life regressions, and just connecting with the guides and helping others connect with the guides, like that's my way of fulfilling the healing part of this purpose, and so I'm still kind of like I've just started this journey. Basically, this is why there's just so much information that I want to share, and that's why I kind of talk like that, like I stop and then I continue and I'm just like that all over the place, which sucks. But my point is that what I'm trying to say is that no matter how frustrated you are right now with not knowing what the hell you came here to do, not to sound like a know-it-all or whatever, but I guarantee you there is a higher purpose for you. There is a mission that you came here to fulfill. And don't let anybody else tell you differently, please. Like, they can say whatever the hell they want, the naysayers and the haters, you know, whatever, it's their prerogative, you know, like, if they're living their mission and they're enjoying their life, great for them, but it's not yours. And so don't listen to people who just make you doubt yourself constantly, and just kind of like, you have to like prove yourself to them over and over again, and just be like, no, but like, am I crazy? Like, like, why am I the only one who like sees this or like feels this way? No, you're not. You're just freaking like awakened. Okay, congratulations, welcome to the spiritual world, and that's awesome. Congrats, like, that's amazing. I'm really, really proud of you, whoever you are. This is the best thing that could have happened to you, honestly, quite frankly, because you're actually awakening into this world, into the reality of things, you know, like into the true purpose that you came here to fulfill. And it's going to be something amazing. It's not going to be negative. It's not going to be shitty. It's not going to make you feel like shit all the time. It's not going to make you angry all the time. It's going to help you heal. It's going to help you feel awesome. It's going to help you help others. It's gonna be amazing. And this is what you came here to do. And I'm really happy for you. And I just want you to know that, like, no matter how far away you feel from like your ultimate goal, or like figuring out what the hell you came here to do, you're on the right track. You're on the right path. Have some patience. I know it's hard when you're like at this point and you're just like, Jesus, just freaking tell me already. Like, what is it? You know, apparently it's supposed to be that hard to figure out, like, for some people, for most people probably, because the more time and energy you put into it, the more you get out of it. Because if everything was just, you know, served to you on like a silver platter, you probably wouldn't even notice it or appreciate it or done anything with it. Most likely. No, you would just kind of be like, oh, okay, whatever. But the fact that you're searching for it so hard and trying to figure this out, and my heart goes out to you because I know exactly what that felt like and feels like still. That's the whole point. And that's exactly what's going to help you be so amazing at eventually doing what you came here to do. And so, without making this into like a humongous video, I guess like I wanted to do two things with this video. I wanted to motivate the people who can relate to how I have been feeling, and how I, you know, like all of my descriptions of like feeling like you don't belong in this world and you're just crazy for thinking otherwise. And yeah, I wanted to motivate those people and to tell them that that's not true, and you definitely do have a purpose, and you are going to figure it out, hopefully sooner than later, but it's all a part of this amazing path, and it's very interesting and fascinating, and there's like so much going on, like it's crazy to even describe. But another thing I wanted to say is that it's kind of a call to action, because if you're completely frustrated and you don't know what the hell to do, where to start, just do one thing, like every single day. Like make it a point, make it a pact with yourself, with God, with whatever you believe in, but make it a point to make a step every single day in the direction that feels right to you. No matter how small this step is. I mean, to the point of like, for me personally, it like really helps listening to like audiobooks, like especially as I fall asleep at night, and I'm like a hardcore night person, and nothing's gonna change that. I'm serious. But that's like, you know, I basically like can't fall asleep without like listening to something, and I try to find like amazing audiobooks or like audios on or videos on YouTube to listen to that would help me figure out like what I want to do, or like what I am already doing, or like how to get better. And you know what I mean? Like, just no matter how small the step is, just find something that feels right to you, that makes you feel like, okay, like this is where I belong, like this is interesting to me, like this is what I want to learn. And do that like as much as possible, every single day if possible, you know? Even if it takes, like, if it takes a lot of time, like, okay, just figure out a way to do it even for like 5-10 minutes a day. Like, even if it's just to meditate, you know, because obviously, you know, if you're listening to this video, you probably know like how important and necessary meditation is for people like us, you know, for people just to open up and to like learn new information and to kind of like to become who they really are, who they came here to be in the first place. So to like tune in to all this like higher knowledge that's really available to us, and we just kind of either ignore it or we don't trust it, you know, and we just need to trust more, basically. I think that it all comes down to that. Just trust more and try to do something every single day. Read a page in a book that you like, you know, like go for a walk and kind of like tune in to what's going on, to how you feel inside, to what do you really want to do. Like, nowadays we're so removed, we're taught to like not listen to ourselves, and that's why for so many people I find, like, when they're in their mid-20s or whatever, they have no idea what they want to do anymore. They just don't. It's like they've been conditioned to not listen to themselves, and we have to relearn to do that, like relearn to listen to ourselves as much as we did when we were kids, and we would just play and we would just enjoy our lives and we would just do things that felt good, that felt right, that felt fun, you know, like fulfilling things, you know, like positive things, not something shitty, hopefully. So yeah, so I'm just, you know, like, this is kind of my, hopefully, like, I can inspire a few people to actually step into trusting yourself and being this person and doing what you feel would fulfill you, and not being afraid of the fact that it might be different to like what you always thought it was, or to what others expect of you, of course, like, which is, that's a whole other video. Just basically like tuning into yourself, listen to yourself, what feels right to you right now, like, what do you want to do? Is it like to go outside? Is it like to play the guitar? Is it to watch a video on like spirituality? Whatever it is, just do a little something that will ultimately bring you closer to figuring out who you are, what you came here to do, how you can do it. And honestly, it will pay off. Like, it, I mean, there is just no way for you to like be doing all this stuff without any kind of a payoff, you know what I mean? There's just, something is going to happen, something positive is going to happen some way. Like, there's no way for us to know how, but just be open to it and just know that it will. And I know it's easier said than done, but please try to trust and believe. And I really hope that this video, even though it turned out to be pretty long, and if you've listened to the whole thing, thank you, I really appreciate it. That's a big commitment nowadays. And I just hope that with this video I could kind of uplift some people and who can relate to what I was saying, and inspire them and motivate them to like just be true to yourselves and believe that it's gonna work out. That's what it's all about. It will. And you came here to do an important thing, an important mission. Maybe a few, maybe impact a lot of people's lives, and we need you to do that. That's what it's all about. Love you all. Later.